Hi, welcome to SEO Hangouts with Josh Bachynski. Today I've got two special videos for you. The first is the official trailer for my documentary called Don't Be Evil, Google's Secret War. You can watch the official trailer for this documentary right down here on the URL down below on your screen. The second special thing I have for you today is, as promised, I have a special video showing all of my SEO tools that I like to use. Most of them are free, and all of them are chock full of vital information on how to do SEO in 2015 and beyond. And in each tool, I'm going to show you a little bit of the special things you need to look at in those places. So without further ado, let's look at the tools. Okay, so the first one we're going to be looking at here is Google Search Console. That is the new name of Google Webmaster Tools. Google Search Console is a vital SEO tool to use. It's simply 100% required if you want to do proper SEO. There is some rumors out there that Google will use this information to secretly watch what you're doing. At least from the SEO I'm doing and the both black hat and white hat SEOs that I talk to, we haven't seen that to be the case at all. So, take it as a grain of salt. But quite frankly, you will not know and you cannot know if you have a Google penalty if you do not have Search Console installed. And quite frankly, it has just simply irreplaceable SEO knowledge in this tool that is also completely free, by the way. So I would strongly suggest that you install it. Now, also, just before I get started and showing you what in here is important, just a little bit, some of the things that are important, I could spend a whole hour just on this tool alone. So I'm just going to show you just some of the highlights in each tool. But before I do that, I just want you to know, so this site, hghratings.org, it's not my site. It's a test site I have access to. So please don't go and negative SEO it because it'll just screw up our testing. But also at the same time, it's not my site either. So if you want to strike at me, if you strike at this site, you're striking at you're just going to annoy us when we're trying to test some results. And I would admit it's probably in a more competitive, even spammy area, but that's where we like to do our testing, because if you're testing everything in like completely no traffic, above board, whitish, whiter than the white hat whites, then you're gonna get skewed results. And if you're testing in the blacks, if all your testing is in payday loans, for example, you're gonna get skewed results as well. So anyway, with that aside, I just want to show you some of the interesting things in the tool. So the first thing is, I go into search appearance here, and I would make sure I check the structured data. That'd be a really important thing to look at to make sure there's no errors. Now right away we have H-entry errors here. This is a huge problem, right? I think they're missing all this other stuff here because they probably just used a default WordPress template. In fact, I know for a fact they just used a default WordPress template, and many of those default WordPress templates are horrible. They are terrible. I cannot stress enough how bad they are because they come with errors like this built in. H-entry is only a schema definition to tell Google that this is syndicated content. You're telling Google that your blog pages here are syndicated content. And that's not what you want to tell Google you are, because syndicated content is not typically the most high quality content. And I see this, it's just correlation, but I see this correlated with a lot of sites that are having trouble ranking because of quality or Panda problems. So I guarantee this is going to be a problem for this site, and I would watch that very significantly. Also, you want to make sure that you look at the messages you have here. And this site has not opened up the CSS and JS for Google to crawl it. Again, this is going to be another huge issue. Google has specifically said, if you don't let us see this, we essentially believe this is cloaking and we are not going to rank your site well. So that's another huge problem. Another major thing that you need to look at here, the great information you can look at, is of course where you're ranking, your search analytics. So if I load that up here, this site doesn't have the greatest rankings, but it does have enough rankings I can just show you for the sake of a test. So what you want to do is you want to click on all these boxes so you can see the clicks, the number of impressions, your click-through rate, or your position. And this is going to show you all the queries you're ranking for and what position you're ranking them on, and that's the average position. And these are not always perfect, but quite frankly, these are pretty darn good. A lot of people complain about these and say they're right off, and I have seen them be right off. But usually they're all right off, and then you know that they're all terrible. Whenever they're mostly correct, they're pretty much correct. Remember, when they say 8.9 here, that's an average of all of their ranking algorithms, including geo-targeting and personalization. and all the split tests they do when they just boost you for no reason. Remember the Google dance? Often you'll see sites just fluctuate seemingly for no reason. There's a reason. There's many reasons, and one of them is, quite frankly, Google has an algorithm to do that. That will fluctuate the ranking of that site up and down just to see if people like it better in that spot. They're always doing split tests. They're always doing A/B tests to see where this page should rank for this query. But you might be wondering, okay, well, but what, this is the query, this is what I'm ranking for, but what page exactly is ranking for this? Well, this awesome tool will tell you that tool. All you have to do is go to Pages, and here's all your pages that are ranking, and the impressions they're getting, and the general click-through rate. And if you want to be like, okay, well, what queries are these things ranking for? Well, then you just click that page. So now that page is selected, and then you go back to Queries. And now it shows you these are only the queries that the index page, that slash is the index page, for this site is ranking for. And this is the stuff that it's ranking for. And it's starting to rank for some fairly good queries. You know, if any of you working in the affiliate niches will realize, especially in the HGH or herbal supplement niches, will realize, okay, this site is starting to do pretty good. It's almost on page 1 for a no-do query like best HGH releasers. That's getting pretty low in the sales funnel, right? That is a query that could make some money. And, you know, ranking 9 for reviews, 8th for HGH reviews. But look at this. There's not a lot of impressions on these long tail queries, but they have a very high buying intent. So I would say there's probably still good to go for. But the problem here is that, look at this. We're not getting very high click-through rate, though. Now, of course, this is because you're on 8th position. So that on average, that's not great. This is probably a pretty good click-through rate for the 8th position. You can see the clicks and stuff that that particular page got here. But I would try and boost this at all possible. You know, these ones that are actually ranking on page 1 and even on page 2, I would try and boost these and get a better click-through rate, if at all possible. But again, that's probably a pretty good click-through rate for spot 8 or 9. I would try and boost this one. This one should have a better click-through rate. So we need to change the title tag to get a better click-through rate. And I'm going to show you an awesome tool how to get the best possible title tag in not the second, but the third one I'm going to show you. Okay, so this is brilliant. You can also tailor the dates. You can see if things are going up or down. Now look at this. This is really interesting. They give you your daily average here. This is fascinating. So if you want to have a report, you got to do a monthly report for your customer. They have it here already. You just click dates. They'll give you the daily average position, click-through rate, and impressions and clicks based on the day. And you just click download down here. And then you just spit that out into Excel and make a graph. And just copy and paste that graph, just highlight the graph, Control-C, go to your email, Control-V, and paste it right into your email and can send that to your client and say, hey, look, things are been going up and down. And if it's too confusing for them because you've got all this data in here, well, then you go, oh, okay, fine. I'll just show you how your position has been getting better. Okay, here's just position. Oh, look, your position has been in position 0, position 30. Position 0 is better, right? Because there's no position 0. But you can see, okay, look, you went down here for a bit, but now it's been getting better over time. Actually, this has been kind of steady state, maybe a little bit better. But so you want to see this graph going up is what you want to see. And if you can see that every month, if you see the position going up on average, then for the whole site, then hey, you're doing your job, right? Things are getting better overall. Okay, so that's really great. There's much more in here you can play with, you can do, but I'm going to leave this alone. I'm just going to show you a couple other really interesting things. One, links to your site. I find this to be a highly valuable tool that many SEOs don't because they complain that Google doesn't give you all the linking information. That's true, they don't, but they give you enough. And Google has told me specifically and mentioned publicly as well that they make a note of putting in your best links in here, but also your worst links in here. So I guarantee that if you have anchor text like this, different uses of human hormone growth, that's a nice long tail partial match anchor text that is going to be safe for you. If you have HGH pills comparison or HGH pills comparison, that's got the exact match query in it. I guarantee that's getting more and more dangerous, especially when they're coming from Russian blogs. All right, that's a dead giveaway. If you see this in, and that's where most of the links are coming from, mind you, not many. And notice how few links is required to rank almost on page 1 for those high buying intent long tail queries. Pretty interesting, huh? You might you might start thinking, wait a minute, this guy only has, this test site that Josh and his buddies are working on only has 48 links, most of them from some spammy Russian blog, which were probably safe, just saying, maybe they were, maybe they weren't. Again, this is just a test site. You got to do tests. And so with different, weird contact, either so no match, long tail partial match, or even, getting more spammy exact match with an extra stop word, like comparison, a natural word thrown in there. Apparently these last ranking rounds, sorry, I'm not even going to make the racist joke. Apparently the last linking rounds that were just recently reported by Barry Schwartz did not hit this site. So, whether it was Penguin or whether it was a SAPE link hit, at least this site wasn't hit. And maybe it was Penguin because these kind of links here are not the kind of links that in my testing show that Penguin would get. And again, the only reason why I'm doing this testing is so I can help people get out of Penguin. I'm not really buying these links because I don't trust them, because most of my SEO, either it's done on my own site, in which case if I screwed up, oh well, it's my fault, I broke it, I fix it. But of course I can't recommend this kind of stuff for any client site because it's just not safe. And that's just not ethical. I just won't do that. And it's not good for my business either. It's not good for my reputation. So, any customers come to me and they've just said point blank, Josh, can't we just buy some links? They just point blank said that to me. I said, no, we cannot, because then it'll look like this. But anyway, even though this site is not doing that badly, but still, it's just a matter of time before this site falls. So keep in mind, if you can do this, it's very interesting. Only 48 links, and we had these rankings here that we had before. Pretty good rankings, for some of these queries that we had here before. Let me go back until we have them here. Not bad on some of these. We're starting to get pretty good on some although not a lot of traffic. We've got high buying intent. You get enough of these long tail and you can do it. But, now I'll go forward again. But this kind of links from this kind of blog, I can tell you just looking at it right now. And with these kinds of anchor text, I guarantee could eventually be a problem. So don't count on this site. This site makes, $2,000 for you, $5,000, even $10,000 for you a month. Great. But that's 50-50. It's going to be there from month to month. Okay, next. So, you say, fine, you have 5 or 10 or 15 of them. Okay, great. And it's still possible to do it. There's, of course, other problems that you have to watch out for. Let's look at the internal links. The internal links are very important. And this site's doing it pretty well. It's got most of the internal link juice here, pointing to the sites, the pages that you're trying to rank. Here's the index page. You do not want all of your link juice pointing to your index page. Only if you want your index page to rank. That used to be the way we would do it in 2001 to 2010. That is not really the way we do it anymore, because Google wants a one-to-one correlation. They want, people are looking for reviews on HGH sprays. Fine, we're going to rank this page highest. We're going to skip the index page, right? So you don't necessarily want all your link juice pouring to your index page like you used to. Now you want to point it to your best ranking pages. Whatever pages those are going to be, they should have the highest links in this internal link chart, because that's where you want to point all of your links. Conversely, let's say this was the page they wanted to rank the most, just for the sake of argument. Let's say this was the page. One, the URL is a little too long. I would make that URL as short as possible and communicate the same amount of information. My correlation studies, and if you haven't seen my correlation studies, they're fascinating. Go back and look at my other videos. It's the causation correlation study. The longer the URL, the worse the rankings. Anyway, that being said, if this is the page they wanted to rank the most, they would be doing a terrible job of their internal page rank sculpting. I mean, making the most important page, to quote Google, telling them what the most important page is, because they only have 2 internal links pointing to it. That means, if this is all the links, that means that, 6% of the internal link juice is flowing to this page. Whereas 94% is pointing to these pages. So all these pages have no differentiation in how well they're going to rank, including the contact page. That page should only have 2 links to it or have a no-follow link to it, so the link juice isn't spread to this page. 1. 2, this page here, right? If this is the page they want to rank, it's only getting 6% of the ranking signals for this domain. Whatever they are, social ranking signals, link ranking signals, any kind of collapsible ranking signal, pourable ranking signal, if I could use that metaphor, like links or like social or something like that. Or domain rank is only getting 6% of it, or a very small percent, because it has a very small percentage of the links. So you see how this isn't vital? It just gives you a one page, boom, look here, fix this, that has no follow links, remove this down here. This is your ranking page you want, this has to be up here. Are these your ranking pages? Great. Choose which ones of these you really want to rank. This, you don't want this to rank at all, or not that much, okay, fine. It should have no follow links then. It doesn't need all these links, right, pointing to it. And just your review pages, because this is a long tail kind of site, obviously. That's your review pages, which you're trying to rank. Your review pages are what should be getting the most link juice. See how important this is? This is vital, and this is the best place to get it in Search Console. Here's another one that's vital: manual actions. You cannot tell, and Google hasn't nabbed this site yet. You cannot tell if you have any Google penalties. These are manual actions, not the algorithmic demotions or algorithmic actions. These are manual penalties, like the links penalty or the thin content penalty or the you are an affiliate, we hate you penalty. You will find them all here. And if you don't have this tool installed, you can't see it, right? So this is vital. You have to have this. If you don't have this, you're going to be in trouble. Also, international targeting is very important. If you want to rank for the US, which this is automatically selected, this is a site vital for the US. This site will have a slight boost in the US. If you don't want to rank for the US, then you've got to select the other country down here and put it in here. I don't have admin access, I just have guest access. Otherwise, I could do that. Finally, mobile usability. This is very important. No mobile errors detected. Great. Google recently detected that over 50% in general, over 50% of their searches per month are mobile. So you got to start really, you had to last year or the year before start seriously thinking about mobile ranking. If you've been noticing your traffic going down and down and down and down, you got to check your mobile ranking. You can, of course, check your mobile ranking up here in the Skype wants to talk to you, in the search analytics. You could just tailor it to, where are you? Devices, sorry. Devices over here, tailor you to mobile. And go to queries. Yeah, or something. I don't know. All right, so we're on mobile right now. We're looking at what mobile is. Oh, so it's doing even better on mobile, which is fascinating, which is entirely possible. Right, we're looking at the mobile traffic now, and we're looking at the queries. It's doing better than it was before, if you remember. It's on page 1 for many different queries. That's fascinating. You need to check your analytic and where you get your mobile traffic and how well that's working. But that can be entirely possible, even though they're blocking their CSS and JS, like I said before. And even though the site may not even have a mobile design, all the other sites in this niche could be even worse. And so they're ranking in spite of themselves. But that's no excuse. You want to make it as good as possible, because at some point your competitors are going to get a mobile design and clean up all the errors, and that they find under mobile usability here. This site has none, so that could be very well a reason why it's ranking so well here. And they will clean it up. Okay, just a couple more things. Google index status is important. It tells you how your page is being indexed. If I saw a huge drop off here, like if this just went right down like that, that would be an issue, because many sites come to me. Oh, I do audits daily. I do audits of sites daily. That's what I do for a living. If you're having trouble ranking, come to me. I will fix it for you and tell you exactly what you need to do. With a lot of these tools, quite frankly, the information staring you plainly in the face. The difference is the knowledge of knowing what's important in those tools and what's not. But a lot of them come to me and they, I've been hit by Penguin, I've been hit by Panda, and so I check. And they may have been hit by this, they may have been hit by that, but sometimes I see they had 100,000 pages on their blog and then they dropped it down to 10,000. And they're wondering why they're not ranking so well anymore. Because those other 90,000 pages had rankings, first off, and maybe they weren't ranking so well, but if 90,000 pages had each one had 0.5 to 1 people coming to them a month, do the math, that's anywhere from 45,000 to 90,000 uniques a month, right? So suddenly, of course, your rankings got worse. Not only that, those pages were ranking themselves. 1, Two, not only that, but even if they weren't ranking at all, those 90,000 pages gave you internal PageRank juice, right? The bigger it has been this way since the year 2000. The bigger the domain, the more index pages, the more domain rank you have, the more important of a website Google thinks you are. The only risk there, I'm telling you, there's a huge risk. Do not think there's not a huge risk. Here's the warning risk signs I'm going to put on my screen because I don't have anything to write. Don't just add pages because Josh said, because more pages make you rank better. Yes, they do, but that's exactly what Panda is for. Panda is there to eat websites that have just artificially inflated their page count just for the hell of it because they want to rank better. Every page has to be terminating the search. You cannot have bounces. You cannot have people who are dissatisfied. Content keywords is important. See, if you see any hacked information in here, if you see that suddenly you have a site about dogs and they have Viagra down here, you've been hacked. That's what this report is for, by the way. That's the only thing it's for, just to see if you have any discongruous keywords. Otherwise, this site's about HGH, great, and growth hormone. Yeah, that's what it's about. That's what you should see here. Otherwise, all this is useless. Do not read anything else into this. And blocked resources, this is important. This is very important. They've told you cannot block CSS and JS. We have meshes up here telling us this. All these pages here are blocked. I'll tell you why. Because, oh look, because their stupid WordPress installation with their stupid WordPress CMS automatically is in robots text is blocking these JS, which you cannot do anymore. And I guarantee you this is a ranking problem for this site. I guarantee it, right? Google said you can't do that anymore. And if you want to see exactly the problem it's causing, you would go to Fetch as Google down here. You would click Fetch and Render, and you're going to wait a while. Now this is going to wait a while, so I'm going to do some other stuff, but I'm going to come back here and show you what Google can see. And then I can guarantee it'll be a problem after I see it. So let's look at another thing that's really important. Crawl errors is very important. You want to see these not founds here. You want to decide if these are external links, because if external links are linking to these pages, you're losing that link juice. You want a 301 these and not 404 for them. It doesn't matter if you mark them here as fixed. That makes no difference for your ratings whatsoever. This is just on their feed, which they shouldn't even have. So never mind. That doesn't matter. Crawl stats is important. If you see huge variations in here or you see huge increases in here, this is a problem, right? Suddenly it started taking 3 seconds to crawl a page. That is an issue. That's something that you want to fix right there. You're going to see variations because now Panda crawls all the time and the site crawls all the time. And finally, URL parameters. If you see parameters in here, keep in mind that they can decide to automatically delete all those parameters from their index and the link juice and the ranking that goes with it. So remember, if you add URL parameters in here, that's a problem. All your URL parameters also have to have a rel canonical in the page, canonically to the main page. Again, I don't have time to go over everything. If you have any questions about that, email me. So finally, let's go back to your Fetch as Google here. Let's see if it's finished. No, still pending. Boo. Okay, so it's finally loaded here now. Now I could submit it to the index, and that would tell Google to come crawl the index page, and then all the pages that are linked on this page would get in the crawl budget as well. Would get into the crawl queue as well, and depending on your crawl budget, they would be crawled on the speed that Google wants to crawl it, right? You can click submit to index as much as you like. They're only going to come and crawl that page if they already know about it. They're going to crawl it on the existing crawl budget based on A, how important your site is, and B, how often it changes. So you can't make them crawl it faster. But if you have a new page, you can definitely click submit to index and they'll crawl it faster. Or you can submit it to your sitemap and they will crawl it faster. Again, if it's new and you use pub/hub subbub, that's pub/hub subbub, and that's what you want to use. Maybe there's some way I can write that for you. Pub/hub subbub. You can use pub/hub subbub. There we go. Can you make that bigger? There we go. Look for that, pub/hub subbub, and that's what you would use to feed in URLs to tell Google, hey, crawl this for a new URL. Okay, but, I don't want to say that. Go wait, stupid Mac. All right, now anyway, sorry. Now anyway, okay. So if I want to, the point was, I want to look at these pages to see how Google sees it. But where's the button to do that? You got to click this little tricky check mark here. Thanks Google for that, right? And oh my goodness, look at the difference. This is how Googlebot saw the page. This is how your visitor would have seen the page. And they are entirely different. Look, all this stuff is blocked out, so Google can't see it. And here's all it's saying, blocked, blocked, blocked. All this other stuff here is temporarily unreachable. That's a huge problem, right? Whereas this is how the user sees it. It's completely different. This is cloaking. I guarantee this is a ranking problem for this site on desktop. That could be very well one of the reasons why it's ranking higher on mobile than it is on desktop. You don't want any of this stuff to be blocked here. This screen here has to look like this screen here. Otherwise, you are going to have a problem. You're going to have a problem. Okay, finally, one of the more important things to look at here is security issues. This is going to tell you if Google has detected that your site is hacked. So usually it's not, but every now and then I look in here and I find this, and this is a ranking problem for sure, because it's going to remove your pages from the index. So you want to make sure you don't have any security issues in here. So if you do, it depends on what you find. They have resources for hacked sites here. You have to take a look at that and do different things based on how you're hacked. So remember, the fetches Google, crawl stats, crawl errors are important. Your index status is important. What's blocked is important. Your content keywords are, again, important to tell if you've been hacked or not. This stuff is all important in here. This is super valuable information. So that's Google Search Console. That's super important how you use that. Next video, I'm going to look at Google Analytics. That's going to be the next video. And the video after that, I'm going to be looking at a really powerful title tool. And each week, along with updates as well, I'm going to come out with super important tools that are just crucial for SEO. And learning these tools will definitely boost your SEO skills by about 1,000,000%. So you can email me at joshbachynski@gmail.com for any questions about this or any SEO questions. You can follow me at Twitter at joshbachynski, where I rant and say many SEO-related and sometimes sarcastic things. And so why not follow me? It's going to be so much fun. And finally, you can watch more videos like this with tons of very important SEO information at youtube.com/jbachynski. So anyway, good luck in the SERPs. Good luck in the SERPs. And I'll have another video for you next week.